Not true.
No, it's not true. So my first two, I actually struggled with breastfeeding. So they ended up on formula around. My first was like three months, and then my second was 6 months. He ended up on formula, and then with my third child, I exclusively breastfed until 10 months, and then that's when we found out we were pregnant again, and it was so draining for me that I couldn't continue. And so with my fourth, it was 16 months. I did all the way up to 16 months, and she probably would have went further along, but I found out I was pregnant again. So, and then so last year with my last one, he was probably like the hardest one.
Hello, and welcome to another episode of Unpacking Motherhood, where we talk about all the things that a lot of people are not talking about right now.
Yes.
In today's episode, we are talking about breastfeeding. Got milk?
Do you hear that sound?
And we are currently, I don't know, let's pause.
Yeah, let's just
pause
be
for a
quiet.
moment of
Can
silence.
you hear this?
We are both currently pumping because we both have children that are away from us, and
We still gotta
we
make milk.
we would be fake if we made it look like it was easy. It's not. Literally, we've been breastfeeding or pumping all day as we've been away from our kids, and these are the things that people need to normalize and talk about. Like, there's a whole war, breastfeeding versus formula feeding, and what's hard, bottle feeding, and what's harder than the other. And I feel like you kind of have to choose your heart. They're all challenges. They're challenges no matter what you do. And so you will always have to find a way to figure out how to make sure that your kid is fed really well, at least for the first year. And so
At least.
at least the first year. So we are trying our best to stay on top of that and
Trying to stay on the road, y'all.
want to normalize just the ins and outs. And our journeys look different. So I currently breastfeed on demand, and when I'm away from my daughter, we have to give her a bottle, and it's different for us because with Sadie, she had to get used to a bottle early on, and she didn't want to take a bottle. But Noemi seems to kind of, she adjusts pretty quickly. She's like, I want food, like I'm hungry, go however I need to get it, but she won't take it from me. Which is interesting.
Oh yeah, because
I'm the
she can
supplier.
smell it. You
Yeah.
are the you the
Right.
Why you not?
You're the milk plug.
But yeah, definitely feel like I'm tired. But at the same time, we make it happen. So,
Yeah.
what is your journey like? What was your journey like breastfeeding moms of multiples? Y'all have had different.
Yes.
Yeah,
And I'm
it
sure
looks different every
so,
time.
I was about to say, I think it's different every time. We think, oh, I did it one time. I did it the first time, it'll be easy, or the second time. And it's
Right.
Not true.
not
No,
true
it's
at
not
all.
true. So my first two, I actually struggled with breastfeeding. So they ended up on formula around. My first was like three months, and then my second was 6 months. He ended up on formula, and then with my third child, I exclusively breastfed until 10 months, and then that's when we found out we were pregnant again, and it was so draining for me that I couldn't continue. And so with my fourth, it was 16 months. I did all the way up to 16 months, and she probably would have went further along, but I found out I was pregnant again. So, and then so last year with my last one, he was probably like the hardest one. We dealt with lip ties and tongue ties, and that's a whole episode within itself, if you don't know what those things are. And so we did breastfeeding, we did bottle feeding, we did formula, we even reached out to some friends and had to
You hear
use
that?
breast milk, okay? So,
She got the
and
good
I'm
fat.
thankful, okay?
Stop.
Yes, I am so thankful for that. So, my journeys have definitely been all over the place. So, yeah, the struggle is real. I understand where y'all are. I'm
Right.
glad I'm not right there yet.
Not
but
yet. You about to be right back
I'll
on
be
that block,
back there.
friend.
Yeah, I'll be back there.
You'll be right back on that block. Yeah. For me, I have 4 children. First time, I had no support, didn't know any better. My husband's like, whatever you want to do, I'm down for. My mom's like, okay, yeah, sure. I didn't do it much. I can't help you there. I did it 4 months. I was home 4 months. Cabin fever, went back to work. Chris said I could stay home, could not take it. I was there by myself, losing my mind. Nobody told me I needed to drink water. I needed to pump often. I thought that my breast would fill up, and I knew when I needed to pump when I got back to the office. End of my first week of working, I had no milk.
Wow.
Extremely traumatizing, right?
Yeah.
And everybody's like, why are you so upset about it? You know, man, brush it off. But I didn't know that I was supposed to be drinking water. I didn't know I was supposed to be moving milk to make milk. I didn't know those things. Second time around, by then I was a doula myself. And I went almost 2 years. And third time, I went over a year for sure, and then I found out I was pregnant again, and my breast milk started changing, and I did not know until Isla started biting because she was trying to get more out. Around the same week she started biting, I got pink eye. And so I'm like, okay, Chris, hold this spoon right here. Let me squeeze some milk into the spoon, and you drop it in my eye because breast milk helps with pink eye. Nothing was coming out. It was like super thick sitting on the surface.
Oh my God.
And we're like trying to shake it onto the spoon. And it's not coming. So like, this is why Isla was so upset. I've already started. I went back to colostrum already.
Yeah.
You know, and I didn't know.
Wow.
So I try in my head and heart, I always say I try to follow my baby's leads when it comes to breastfeeding. But baby, number 4
Wrap it up.
had other plans. So she was born, and she pretty much cried the entire time from the time she got here. She was only quiet during her adjustment when Dr. Bethay came and adjusted her. And we could not figure out why. Midwife came and did her follow-up at the house, and she said she's dehydrated. She's lost too much weight, and now I'm devastated. My child has been starving, and I did not know.
Right.
Oh, wow.
Oh my gosh, I was boo-hooing,
Oh, yeah.
and she's
Oh,
trying
yeah.
to also hand express my breast at the same time, and
Right.
I'm so defeated. My child's been starving, and I didn't know.
Yeah.
And so she had to go on formula for 2 days, 48 hours. After 48 hours, consulted with local IBCLCs in the area. Amazing, saved my life and my sanity. And she told me what I needed to do. By the time I had a visit with her Monday, that was Thursday, my milk was coming in full force, and we weren't formula feeding anymore. So my baby was on formula for 48 hours. She probably had a total of like 8 ounces of it. Amy my midwife went all over town trying to find a certain liquid formula that was recommended to her by the same local IBCLC to make sure I had what I needed. And we found out that she had a tongue tie.
Yeah.
And she could not latch properly. But as a lactation professional myself, when she latched, everybody's like, oh, she's doing great. I'm like, she doesn't have a good latch.
Yeah.
And I just was praying that it didn't lead to anything too crazy. I could see that it wasn't a good latch.
Yeah.
And she was hungry. She wasn't getting anything. So milk came in full force, and we're trying to ride out the tongue tie. We're thinking she can grow out of it. We're going this. We're changing bottles. We're doing this. We're doing that. I'm still pumping. Milk coming in strong, a little too strong. Like, I have never been an overproducer. Always been a just enougher. Always been. Never had a stash. I'm making 20 ounces a pump session.
Wow.
Right.
Wow.
Like, I can't handle it myself.
Right.
Like, I can't go anywhere. Like, I have to immediately pump, and it was a lot. I'm grateful. I've never seen that before. But I finally told Chris, I said, for my sanity, she was being bottle fed. We changed her bottles per the recommendation of the IBCLC. That bought us some time. Gripe water bought us time. I told Chris, I'm going to lose my mind. We need to do a tongue tie release.
Yeah.
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 One of the goals was for her to latch, but one of my goals was also to sleep in my bed again. I slept in a recliner sitting up straight for 3 months with my baby because she could not lay flat. Her colic was so bad.
Yeah.
So I literally went 3 months straight without getting sleep. Had a breast infection. The whole Juneteenth thing we did with y'all, I was still on antibiotics for my breast infection. I shouldn't have been out, but I needed to get out the house desperately.
Yeah.
I was sick, but I needed to get out.
Yeah.
And did the tongue tie release. Immediately saw a change. She wrapped so much more easily around the bottle, but by then I'm not heating up bottles.
Right.
Baby number 4, I don't have time for that. My life is like the Love's commercial. We're not heating up a bottle every 2 hours.
You gotta get this
Listen,
cold
We're
milk,
not
this
doing
latte.
that. And as a
Yes.
lactation professional, I understand the temperature of the milk doesn't bother the baby truly. If it does, then, fix it. But once she could latch, she'd take a little bit, spit it out. and look at me, because she didn't want no hot milk. She wanted cold milk.
Chilled, shaken, not
So
stirred.
here we are.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
the goal was to latch. She did latch. I'm laying back down in my bed. But now she does not want the breast because it's warm. So now we're still doing the bottle and the
Yeah.
pump. And month 10, still exclusively pumping, but I plan to dial it back when she turns 1 to 1 pump in the morning and 1 pump at night. Because this is exclusively pumping is taking a big toll on my mental and my physical health.
Yeah.
So time to wrap
Reel
it
it
up.
in.
Rapidamente.
Yeah, it's definitely been different every baby for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So how do you deal with breastfeeding on the go? I know one of the things I do a campaign, a breastfeeding campaign, to normalize public breastfeeding, because we're mammals, and I'm like, breastfeeding is normal. And for me, I know when I had my first daughter, I was ashamed to breastfeed in public. I was like very scared. I did the 2-shirt method because she didn't like to be covered. And I remember one night we were at a restaurant, and I said, "Do y'all have a place where women can go to feed?" And they're like, "Oh, we have the bathroom." I'm like, "I'm not about to sit in the stall and feed my child." And so
Right. 'cause he's
Lee
sitting on
stood
that
up
toilet.
over me to make sure no one was staring. But like, you know, because you get those stares, and sometimes I cover up, not because I'm ashamed, but I cover up because I'm like, I don't want you sitting here staring at my baby trying to feed. Like, you don't stare at people when
Right.
they eat. It's just kind of weird. But like, that's something that's why I do my breastfeeding campaign each year, for Black Breastfeeding Week, to normalize breastfeeding in public, and you know, because it has to happen. We eat on the go all the time, so
Yeah.
like our babies can't wait till we go home in our nursery to feed. And I don't know, for me that was just very important for moms to understand. And in that event, I see moms come and like, I hope you guys do what I see them do. They just relax. And they're
Yeah.
like, this was so nice just to be around other moms who are doing the same thing.
It's not enough of us doing it
Right.
either.
Right.
It's just not.
Yeah.
Right.
It's systematic, and
Yeah.
I'm sure we'll get into that if we
Yeah.
have enough time. But yeah,
Yeah. Just to see someone else doing it, and you see like your baby might, you know, just from latching your baby on to seeing them like cry and pout, and then, you know, they finally get that just moment of my mommy's milk. Like, we all have that moment of like, okay, I gotta, you know, feed my baby, you know, we want to calm our babies down, and then you get to see both mom and baby relax when that connection is made. And
Yeah.
so it's such a beautiful thing for me to see, and it's such a beautiful, just like overall like energy to feel when we all come together. But yeah, I don't
It's
know.
a safe space, so I'm
It
glad
is.
you opened it up
Yeah.
for that.
Yeah.
For them to feel safe and feel comfortable in that space to breastfeed. And if they have questions, like, they can, you know,
Yeah.
and look
Yeah.
beautiful while doing it.
yeah.
Yeah.
Because
Like,
all women are always so beautiful.
those
Yeah.
pictures are amazing.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah.
They are. Yeah.
So breastfeeding on the go it's a chore. Breastfeeding is hard. One of the things I know that Stormy will recommend as a lactation professional, if you plan on breastfeeding or bottle feeding, like, have a plan. I was talking to a mom today during her newborn's photo shoot. I asked her, did she get lactation education before? Because she was like, I had to give up, you know, breastfeeding because I was getting overwhelmed, and like I just felt like defeated. And I was like, well, did you get some, you know, did you get some education? And she's like, no, I didn't. And I was like, you know, I said, if you plan on having another baby and you want to breastfeed successfully, I recommend that you be proactive and get the classes, because
Yes.
Yeah.
we think it's just intuitive. We think it's just going to come.
Because we
and-
got it. It's gonna be all right.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
No.
You need to know that it's hard.
Right.
Like, breastfeeding is hard.
And
It
it's
is-
okay to say that.
Yeah.
That
Right.
doesn't mean
Yes.
you're ungrateful
Right.
for your
Yes.
journey and all of that, and you don't want
Yeah.
to feed your child.
And that's
not
for
what it means.
that's for a first time mom or a mom that has had multiple kids. Like, each, again, we're gonna say it again, each journey is different, and your first journey might have been hard, but that second, if you took the time to do your research and learn and to reach out, could look totally different.
Yeah.
Yes.
It could look totally different. And then we have those that, you know, their first run is a breeze and they enjoy it and they love it, but then their second go round, they're tired, they wore out. So it's just about your community, researching, getting that education. Do not feel bad about, reaching out to a lactation consultant. Don't feel bad about utilizing the resources that are out there to, help you. Do it, because at the end of the day, it'll actually help you and help your baby.
And it's totally normal. It's totally normal to have a hard time. And I know it doesn't feel like that, but it is. And it's okay. But you have to open up about it, or you can't get over the hump. So.
Yes, let's talk about it.
Let's talk about it. Awesome, awesome, awesome. I hope that you guys feel seen, and we hope that you got something out of today's episode of Unpacking Motherhood, Breastfeeding, and Beyond. Breastfeeding and beyond.
I feel like we need to continue this conversation because we haven't even talked about the systematic racism around it and why we don't even.
There's definitely part to this conversation.
It's a lot missing with
even
that.
going back into the ties and all of that.
That's it's environmental. Okay, sorry, I'll be quiet. We're wrapping up.
We
definitely.
We're gonna talk more about. We need to talk more about breastfeeding. There's definitely a part 2 brewing, but we hope you guys got something. Like and subscribe, comment.
Yes.
Share Unpacking Motherhood with your friends. We hope to get the conversation started. And in the meantime, we hope that you guys have a blessed day. Peace out.